Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Smith. Welcome to Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, we're all about highlighting inspiring people, engaging topics, and small businesses. And don't forget, while you're here, subscribe to this YouTube channel, share it with your friends, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. Okay, so lots of us have heard of it. Some of us are dealing with it. Some of us will deal with it later. And it is a hard road to hoe. Sometimes you feel alone and lonely. You have no idea where to go or who to turn to. Half the time, you don't know what's going on. What are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about dementia. I want to introduce you to somebody who is a dementia care specialist. She's got a lot of information for us, and I can't wait to get into this conversation. Everybody, please say hello to Paula Levy. Hello, Miss Paula.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be an interesting topic.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah, I think so. Before we get started, Paula, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located.
Sure, I am located in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I am almost a native. I grew up here since I was 2 and have my family surrounding me. My parents are still alive and well with no signs of dementia or brain change. And let's see, I have 3 adult boys. I love hockey, pizza, and the theater, not necessarily in that order, and my biggest passion in life is working with caregivers and their loved ones living with brain change.
Wow, I like that, brain change. I've never heard that term before. You said something earlier that I just have to, so you're only almost a native. You've been there since you were 2. What would make you a full native at this point?
If I was born here.
Ah,
So
okay.
I moved from Utah. I was born in
Mhm.
Ogden, Utah. My
Okay.
family moved here when I was 2. Let's just
Gotcha.
go with that instead of
Yeah.
the year. And they followed my dad's parents. My grandpa got transferred with the post office. So
Okay.
followed them here and have lived here ever since. So really, I
Yeah.
call Colorado my home.
Yeah, we're calling Colorado your home, and we're also calling you native. It is what it is.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Now, Paula, first of all, explain to us, our listeners, our watchers, what is it that you do as a brain change specialist? I love that term.
Sure. Wow. I do a variety of things. It's really, I should say, brain change, jack of all trades, really, because I've been in the field. Literally, it's been my only career. So I'm on 35
Wow.
years plus going strong with working with families and people who live with brain change. And I've
Yeah.
worked in facility settings. I've worked as a long-term care administrator. I've started my own nonprofit adult day program. And now I have my own consulting business. So I
Wow.
have my Never Alone consulting business, and I work with caregivers. I work with their loved ones, but I also speak. I
Mhm.
also train facilities. I train home care staff. I've also done first responder training.
Wow.
But as I work with families, I can coach families one-on-one. I can coach families and their person together, especially in the early onset. I
Yeah.
can take their person out from under their feet, so that they can have their house to themselves for a change and not feel like
Wow.
or have someone underfoot all the time. I
Mhm.
can spend the day with them. I can help them tour
Wow.
facilities and ask the right questions and find the right placement.
My
So I
goodness.
do a variety of things.
Yeah, it does. The only thing you're not doing is cheap bottle washing. I mean, my goodness. So brain change, exactly what is that? Because some people look at, mental health at issues. Is that considered brain change? Who is it that you're working with?
So
What sort
I
of
am
patients?
working, yeah. So, dementia, Alzheimer's, people use that term interchangeably. And
Mm-hmm.
just to help people understand, because people will say, oh, my mom doesn't have dementia. Or my mom doesn't have Alzheimer's, she has dementia. Well,
Mm.
dementia is a type of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's
Okay.
is dementia, but it's dementia isn't just Alzheimer's. The dementia is the umbrella term.
Mm-hmm.
And there literally are now to this date are about 125 to 130 different kinds of dementia and
Oh my
variants.
goodness.
So when I
See,
started back in 1989,
oh my
90, there was
goodness.
maybe 25 different types of
Mhm.
dementia. And so
Wow.
the umbrella is the general term, dementia is the general term. The
Mhm.
spokes of the umbrella are all the different types of dementia.
Mhm.
And then to me, Alzheimer's is the handle of the umbrella
All
because
right.
it's the most talked about, it's the most prevalent, it's the most researched, it's the most publicized. When
Mhm.
Tony Bennett, Glenn Campbell, Pat Summitt, all those people get diagnosed, it's front
Sure.
page news. You
Yeah.
don't hear as much as people with, well, and now Bruce Willis has frontotemporal dementia, and now that's
Mhm.
been on the forefront, but vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, all those other different types of dementia aren't necessarily as talked about or as recognized as
Mhm.
Alzheimer's. So
Man.
yeah, but I also work with people with Parkinson's is a brain change diagnosis. A stroke
Sure.
is a brain change diagnosis.
Mhm.
Um, Traumatic brain injury is a brain change diagnosis. And all of those can bring on Alzheimer's or
Mhm.
dementia or characteristics of that. So
Yeah.
brain change is exactly
Multifaceted.
absolutely. And
That is
dementia,
amazing.
and just to qualify what for it to be a true dementia,
Mhm.
uh, there's four things that it has to be for it to be a true dementia, and that is two parts of the brain, wherever they are
Mhm.
actively dying. Two parts are actively dying for it to be a true dementia.
Mhm.
It's progressive. It's not going to get better. You're not going to bounce back even a
Right.
little bit. It's chronic, and dementia is terminal, unfortunately. So those are
Yeah.
the four truths about dementia.
Mhm.
And that goes for any type of dementia. Those four things are present when it's a true dementia.
I mean, I'm listening to this, and I like, I'm sure most of our listeners and those people watching, I did not know all of that. There were so many spokes, if you will, to dementia. I was one that believed dementia and Alzheimer's were different. I did not know they were pretty much spokes in the same wheel.
Sure, sure. And honestly, people will like the word dementia. It's a little softer term
Mm,
rather than Alzheimer's is harsh. It's got some
yeah,
negative connotations to it. And so
sure.
people like the word, oh, my mom doesn't have Alzheimer's, she just has dementia. Well, if she has Alzheimer's, she has dementia. And if she
Yeah.
has dementia, it's
Yeah,
what.
you think too of Alzheimer's dementia as something that happens to those people who are older. Is that is that fair to say, or is it that an absolute myth?
Absolute myth. And I'm so glad you brought it up. I have one of my best friends diagnosed at 48.
Oh my gosh.
She's a PhD. She just turned 56. She's a PhD. In profiling, she taught CIA, FBI people how to profile criminals.
Wow.
Brilliant mind, and brilliant, beautiful woman who
Mhm.
actually competed last year in the Mrs. America Colorado contest and got
Mhm.
fourth runner up. Her
Awesome.
platform was Alzheimer's, but nobody knew that she was living with it. So when they
Mhm.
asked the question, how has this pageant
Mhm.
changed you? How has this, experience changed you? And she said, when I was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, and the entire audience just gasped because they assumed that was her platform and her
Yeah.
cause. They didn't realize she was living with it. So, no, it's not an old person's disease. And her whole purpose
Mhm.
of making that her platform and doing that contest was to show people, this is what Alzheimer's looks like. I'm not in a wheelchair in a corner in a nursing home with my
Yeah.
head sunk down.
Right.
This I'm living my best life
Yeah.
with a diagnosis that is not
Mhm.
great, but
Yeah.
she's out there speaking. She's an advocate. She's my inspiration. She really is.
Man, that is incredible to hear because again, like you said earlier, those things are not publicized unless you are these big names, you're not going to get on the front page, and that's worthy of front page news. So,
Absolutely.
in your research and the things that you've seen, heard, and read, what are some of the causes of this dementia or these brain changes?
Yeah, if we only knew you wouldn't have it anymore.
Mhm.
There's lots of theories out there, aluminum in your cooking
Wow.
pans, aluminum in your deodorant,
Mhm.
diet, exercise. Obviously, that's going to help
Mhm.
keep your mind active, but it's nothing is going to prevent it. Nothing we know is going to. We just don't know what causes it,
Yeah.
and so that's the $1 million question.
Mhm.
And research is ongoing and has been for centuries,
Yeah.
but we just don't know what causes it. And the
Yeah.
only way they can delineate what type of dementia it is by
Mhm.
ruling out other things. Like depression can mask a dementia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's lots of things, like a urinary tract infection can exacerbate behavior.
Well,
And
that's at the other
so
end,
people,
though. I don't
but
understand that correlation.
right, well, you're right. And so people, even with early onset Alzheimer's,
Mhm.
that might have a UTI, but nobody knows it and they can't really express it, or
Mhm.
they're not sure what it is.
Right.
Their behavior can switch like a on a dime. And
Mhm.
so they can become agitated and have hallucinations and aggressive and
Mhm.
really, and of course families are like, oh, what do we do? Get them to
Mhm.
the ER, and the ER is quick to medicate
Yeah.
the behavior. Well, the behavior, when they medicate behavior, they're medicating their means of communication. And
Mm.
so
Wow.
now doctors are learning to do a urinalysis immediately, because
Okay.
95% of those people going in with behavior that is abnormal to
Mhm.
their person have urinary tract infections
Wow.
that can
I
be
would have
easily treated
literally
and can just, yeah, it's crazy.
never
It's
put those,
crazy. So,
literally put those two things together. So,
well, and as the person goes through the disease,
mhm.
it's harder to do cares. And so those are more prone because the
Mhm.
cares aren't getting done
Sure.
as we do them
Yeah.
ourselves.
My gosh. So, Paula, in this, how did you get into this work? I can't imagine that 30 plus years ago, you woke up one day and goes, today, I'm going to pick out this awesome outfit and then I'm going to become, a memory care specialist.
Sure,
How did you get
sure.
into this?
Yeah, that's a great question too, because I was going to be a dietitian. I was set, I was focused, even though I ate sugar like it was coming out of my ears. I was going to be a dietitian and teach people how to eat healthy. I went to college, was in my first day of chemistry, and walked back to my dorm, got the little catalog of majors out, and
Mhm.
picked a new major immediately. I thought, oh, college chemistry, not having it, not going to even attempt it, changed my major. I
Wow.
found probably the easiest major, and the major that really got me laughed out of my house. My brothers were like, are you kidding me? But it was a major called leisure science.
Wait, I'm sorry. We can
Exactly.
measure in that in college now?
A major in that.
Dang
And
it. I did it all wrong.
did it all wrong. So it's a recreation major, and
Yeah.
you could study corporate, you could study community rec, you could be a cruise, you could do there's just a variety of things you could do with that type of
Mhm.
recreation major, but they
Never heard of
titled
it.
it leisure science just to make it sound spicy.
Wow.
Yeah. So I switched to that major.
Mhm.
I took serious classes like leadership and statistics, but I also took ballroom dancing and golf and
Yeah, because you want to make sure that you're educated enough to really enjoy leisure time.
absolutely. But having grown up with all four of my grandparents in my life into my late 20s, they were actually all four were at our wedding, which was just beyond special.
Mhm.
I was and always have been drawn to the elderly population. And when my cousins were outside playing, I was at the feet of my grandparents inside with the older folks, just listening to their wisdom and learning from them. And so they really inspired me unknowingly, and
Mhm.
drew me to a career working with seniors.
Yeah.
And so I was able to take a minor in gerontology, so it kind of balanced out the lazy major with a hearty major.
Right.
Did 2 field works when I came home from college. Summer I did one at the Colorado Springs Senior Center with healthy seniors, and did every aspect of that senior center. Worked in the cafeteria, health center, crafts, did a bike club. Just healthy seniors are fun. They're really fun. Then the next summer I went into the nursing home setting, the geriatric senior.
Right.
And I actually had more fun with the geriatric senior than I did
Goodness.
with seniors.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
It is.
I'm still stuck on leisure as a major, but I'm thinking, why did I go into HR? But anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, well, you're never too late. Never too late.
That's true.
I think I have some of my, I have saved some of my notes. I could coach you through.
Send them over later.
I will.
So one of the things you said, and I'm so sorry, I wanted to ask you this. You said, the 4 things that you talked about, dementia, Alzheimer's. Is everyone living going to get it eventually? Because what you said earlier, anybody can get it. It sounds like it's almost like cancer. Nobody knows when, who, or why, but eventually. Is it like that?
It can be, and it definitely can be genetic. There's families that have just generation after generation. There's families that have 6 sisters and only one of them gets it. And I have a client currently that is 52, living with the frontal temporal dementia. Both parents are healthy, all siblings are healthy.
My goodness.
And it landed on him.
Yeah.
So not everyone gets it.
Sure.
People age, there's normal aging and there's not normal aging.
Yeah.
And there's
that.
There's people that live into their 90s without it, and they're sharp.
So you work with the families and you work with the individual. Now with the families, what is the difference? What do you do with the family versus what do you do with the actual patient? What do you do there?
So with the patient, I'll start with that because it's fun. I'm not losing out on who they were like the family is. I know them the day I meet them and go forward with them, but the family's missing out on who they were as a wife and a mother and a career person or whatnot. I meet the person where they are and we just have fun. You have to just be with them in the moment. The family, I help coach the family know how to let go of agenda and really just be with them and be compassionate, because I tell families that having an agenda, which they want to have some control over something that is totally uncontrollable.
Right.
Having an agenda for your person is like having an agenda for a pinball in a pinball machine. There's no way you can know where it's going. Which way. Yeah. And the more you try to, the more frustrated you get. And then they pick up on every feeling, facial expression, body language, tone of voice. And the best thing is to do is just be with them and be with them, not at them.
I like that. Be with them.
Families. I help families understand them.
I like that what you said, you meet them where they are versus knowing who they used to be. The family is struggling with who they used to be and trying to pivot into who they are. When you go into a situation, family and things, and I'm sure there's crying and fear and anxiety and insecurity, because this is new for us. I don't know what to do. For our listeners and those watching, what are some things, give us a couple of things that you would recommend for somebody in that caregiving role right now, whether it's new or an older diagnosis? What would you tell them?
Well, the first thing, and I learned this from a fellow colleague, I was speaking with her and she had a bag of Q-tips and she was passing out Q-tips. I'm like, what the heck? We're cleaning ears at this time? But she passed out Q-tips to everyone, and then she wrote Q-tip on the board. And Q-tip, the acronym is quit taking it personal. So that is huge for families.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and because what happens as the disease progresses or the diagnosis advances, it's exactly that. It's not the person, is the person is inside, but it's the
Yeah.
disease that's speaking. It's the disease that's taken over. And it's so hard for the families to delineate that and not feel like, oh my God, my mom just attacked me. My mom just cussed like a sailor. It's the disease. Your mom's in there, but it's the
Yeah.
disease that's bringing all of that out. So quit taking it personal.
Mm.
You know, live where they are, be with
Mhm.
where they are, and put yourself in their shoes
Yeah.
and stop controlling.
Stop controlling.
Let be in the moment.
Yeah,
Just be.
that's so tough. You know, it's funny. I love the Q-tip analogy. I had a neighbor. She was 88 years old. I loved her so much. She lived with her daughters. And as she was getting older, she was deteriorating and the dementia started to take over. And one day it was just, it's funny to us on the outside, but the quit taking it personally. Her mom was the sweetest individual on the planet. But as the disease processed, she became a cursing sailor. She would curse in 3 languages at everything and everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And her daughters were just devastated by this because they'd never heard her talk like this. And then when I would go over, I was like you, I only knew her. This is all I've ever known of her. So it wasn't, I didn't take it personally, but her daughters would cry all the time because they did take it so personally.
Sure.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I do several support groups a month to
Mhm.
just to help caregivers vent and to know they're not alone. But I also pass out these little business cards I have made that caregivers can pass to a waitress or the flight attendant or the person in line behind them that's just going, like, because they need
Yeah.
extra time with their person. And the card says, please be patient. The person with me is memory impaired and we're going to need a few extra minutes. Or I
Wow.
have new ones that say, the person with me is living with brain change. If
Mhm.
they do or say something that makes you uncomfortable, it's because
Yeah.
they have dementia,
I
so
like that because we as people can be so icky, so judgmental, so into ourself that everything is an inconvenience.
yep.
So Paula, talk to the folks watching and listening who are not in the situation, but may
Okay.
come across this situation.
Sure.
What can they do to help and not hinder?
Sure. And so families that might not expect it, but should, expect the unexpected,
Mhm.
or families that know someone that's experiencing it, how can they be of help to them?
Right.
Just be present. I have actually, I've been around it enough that I've seen people who can't receive help. Oh no, we're
Yeah.
fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
But and the person who's asked or offered are going, I'm so glad she said that because I didn't want to help anyway, or I wouldn't have known what to do. Or
Sure.
I actually have a checklist that says, the title of it says, you can count on me too. And then it's
Mhm.
got a list of, come sit with your person for 2, 3, 4 hours, do your,
Wow.
pick up your laundry, clean up your
Mhm.
yard, provide a meal or two a week,
That's
help you
nice.
with car maintenance, just a whole list of things so that when someone asks you, you're like, oh no, but you can go, oh, we're actually here, take your pick.
Yeah.
Here's something concrete that they could do. But
Yeah.
really, don't be afraid to ask for help. Nobody can do this by themselves.
Yeah.
It absolutely takes a village. And just be open and know that whatever you do is
Mhm.
enough.
I like that.
And every day is a chance to start over.
Yeah.
Because what's graceful, and I was just talking to a client yesterday, she was crying. I got so upset with my husband, and
Mhm.
it just made me feel so, the grace of that is he's not going to remember today that she got
Yeah.
upset.
Mhm.
She's
Wow.
going to remember that. And so you get so many second chances as the caregiver, and you just have to know
Wow.
You have to
That's
write
so
on.
huge. You get a
Yeah.
second chance.
Yeah.
My gosh. Paula, there's so much information and so many great tips. If somebody wanted to reach out to you or contact you or continue this conversation with you, where's the best place for them to find you?
So that would be my website, and it is www.neveraloneconsulting.com.
Awesome.
And you can, on that website, you could find, my other contact information, my email, my phone number. You can schedule an appointment consult with me. You can learn about my experience over the years. You can see testimonials from families that I've worked with, and just see the services listed out. And hopefully you can see my passion show through on that website, because I literally get up every day and absolutely love what I do and
My
making a
gosh.
difference with those folks.
And I'm sure the people that you work with appreciate what you're doing because I'm sure it's a help. Everybody, don't forget, if you didn't get all of her contact information, everything will be in the description below. And don't forget, share our YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. Make sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. Paula, my friend, before I let you go, we got to play a game, girl.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, the game is so easy. It's called
Okay.
What's Your Favorite? I'm just going to ask you some random stuff and
Okay.
you just tell me what your favorite thing is. Are you ready to play, my
Yes,
friend?
I am ready.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
What is the favorite app that you have on your phone?
Right now, it's because I've had so many appointments. It's my health care portal. Because
Okay, nice.
I've been through some surgeries. I've been through some stuff. I've got some upcoming surgeries, and right now it's me making sure I'm not missing an appointment, making sure that I know about my test results and I know the questions to ask going into it. And actually, that's a funny answer, but really, I've looked at it already probably 5 times today because of what's coming down the pike for me.
No,
But
that's a
other
great
than that,
answer.
it's probably Facebook and watching my new great nephew grow. And my niece is so good about sharing photos, and I just love
That's
watching.
neat.
Yeah, so but my healthcare, yeah, for sure.
Okay, what is your favorite kitchen gadget?
My favorite kitchen gadget is the avocado pitter and slicer.
Okay, there's an avocado pitter and slicer.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll
I
be
don't know if
looking
that's
that
what it's
up.
called, but yeah,
If that's what it does, that's what it's called.
it does.
That's neat. What is your favorite song of all time?
My favorite song of all time is got to be the song from Wicked, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but it is
I love that. I love that play.
Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. It's anyway, it's from Wicked.
Okay.
And it'll come to me after we say goodbye.
Of course, you know that.
But
That's always the case.
yeah, but
What
it's a
is
song.
your favorite Olympic sport?
To watch or to do?
Both. Well, because you already said you like hockey.
Yeah, I do like hockey. I do like to watch hockey. I do like to watch gymnastics.
Okay.
I love to
Yeah.
watch
Gymnastics is huge. I like that. What is your favorite food?
Pizza.
My girl. Pizza is the world's perfect food. I'm telling you.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day long.
Yeah, that I'm with you, girl. I'm with
We're
you.
going to lunch with my son after this, and we're going for pizzas.
And so you should. And finally, Paula, finish this sentence. I have a ridiculous amount of blank.
Shoes.
Really?
Can I keep going? Jewelry, glasses,